mistakes. I'm not just like the rest of you. I'm stronger. I'm smarter. I'm better. I am better.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very special edition of our live show. Because we were not satisfied with the conversation we had yesterday. We needed more time. But time was not our friend. On today's show, we're just going to talk about the comics that we've been reading for the week, or recently, whatever we've read. Because there's a lot of really good stuff. I don't know if you guys know, comics are really good right now. Like, there's a lot of really cool stuff out there on the
I don't
show.
believe you.
Yeah, I don't either. Comics have never been good.
I'll try to convince you right now. So who wants to kick us off? Josh, you want to kick us off with something? Well, I guess first of all, did you get a chance to read Captain America #1?
Oh, I did.
Let's start there. I feel like that's a good starting point.
I did, and I gotta say the description of this that caused me to pick this up and get it pulled did not lie. This was great. I really enjoyed it. I love the concept. I love the idea of returning to Cap shortly after he's unfrozen. So he's dealing with this world he doesn't know. I am trying to kind of wrap my brain around the time frame a little bit because, again, in my brain, like he comes out of ice in the 60s, and I know that's not the case in whatever timeline this takes place in. So
yeah,
so Marvel has their sliding time scale,
right?
So
I just picture it like at the end of the first Avenger movie where he's just like in a more modern times, Times Square
on the street in his PJs.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I figured. I want to go just before we get into the actual book. So I got the design cover.
That's
here,
nice.
and I love the little notes, like no black line around the A, and then talking about the silver Art Deco wings. Very young, around his 20s, so that gives you an idea of like that. Now, there's no caption here, but we all know that should be just America's ass.
That is America's ass. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
I love the little
At this point, it goes without saying.
That's right. So.
You know what? That should have been the DC Marvel crossover, which is Nightwing's ass and America's ass.
That is a good point. Why did we not get that crossover?
Yeah,
there's still time.
Nightwing and Hawkeye have that. They both of them have the what is it on Tumblr that they just kind of people on Tumblr appropriated the characters to put them in sexy poses and stuff like that. They do the thing where they kind of pose them like the female characters normally get put on the cover. So, but. Back to Captain America's ass is very distracting. We did have Pete in the chat. Cap was really fun. Really liked the artwork. Yeah, it was really, really a stellar issue. Like I was already excited for this. I talked about it with my buddy Mike on I Read Comic Books last week, where I was like, this is kind of what I'm looking forward to the most, mainly because I was not a big fan of the Straczynski run that just wrapped up. I started it and I tried to get into it. Did either of you guys finish that one?
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
it was okay. I liked it because it was something different. It was Cap completely out of his element. He was dealing with weird magical stuff, kind of mutants. I mean, they were mutants, but it was magic and mutants, which is not Cap's forte. Usually, when a writer comes on Cap, it's like government conspiracy, and Cap has to bring down the terrorist network and stuff. So it's completely different than what he normally does, but it was too different, I think. Like it was fun, and then I was just like, where's this going?
Yeah.
Straczynski was still, for me, it was still good. It just was like, I don't know. Also, like, because he was helping mutants out, and this was during the fall of Krakoa, I was like, you guys could have totally tied these two things in together. And no, but they were two completely separate stories. Like Straczynski was like, I'm going to talk about mutants, and And Marvel was just like, they should have just said, that's so weird because we have a whole group of them over here that are going through their own thing. Kind of similar to what your story is, but nobody put it together. Like,
yeah. It feels like a editorial, like not miscommunication on that part, but yeah. So I mean, if you enjoy that run, not you, Jeff, but like anybody that's watching this, like if you enjoyed that run, good on you. I think Krasinski, he's kind of hit or miss for me. Like there's been stuff that I really enjoy, stuff that I'm like maybe not, maybe too big of a swing there. But on this one, we have writer Chip Zdarsky, who I'm a very big fan of. There's still, I don't know that I've ran across a book that I'm like, I don't know that was for me. Like most of them really hit. Like the Avengers Twilight recently wrapped up. It just wrapped up on Batman right before the Flash 2 storyline kicked off. He's written Spider-Man. He's written like pretty much Daredevil. He had a really big run as well. So
that Marvel 2-in-1 that he wrote that was really good. And I will interrupt you by saying your mic is doing the thing where it is struggling now.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't before, but now it is. But while he's vamping, I will say one of the things I loved about this comic is I do love the Marvel. I like it when they do update things with the Marvel sliding time scale. So you're like, there's it took me a second because they talk about the cell phones and stuff, and I'm like, when are we exactly?
Yeah, exactly.
I realized it was him just getting defrosted, and of course that would be like 10 years ago there were cell phones. 15 years ago. I like this. When I first heard about the sliding timeline, it was like in the 80s. And everybody that was talking about it was like 10 years ago. It was when 1963 happened 10 years ago.
Right.
Peter got bit by the spider. The Fantastic Four went up. All that happened roughly 10 years ago. I personally like to give it 15 now because there's kids involved and like they're growing up and stuff. So I'm like, it's got to be more than 10.
Yeah.
It's got to be like 15 now. So yeah, 15 years ago is, that's still post 2001, that's still post 9/11 is 15 years ago. So I think I'm doing the math on that right.
Oh God, don't do that to me. Oh.
Real quick, how's this? It's on my it's through my AirPods now. I don't know if it sounds better.
You sound a little tinny, but we can understand what you're saying.
We can understand you. Yeah, you're clear, but you are a little tinny.
But whereas before,
I don't know what tinny. Hold on, let me Google tinny. Hold on.
It sounds like you're talking in a tin can.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a way of describing it than I was going to say. It's like you're wearing Iron Man's helmet, but there's no mouth hole.
Yeah,
all right, let me get out of here and I'll come back real quick. Hold on.
Okay. Sorry, Jeff. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I love the art. Yeah, go ahead. Whatever you're going to. I was just going to vamp more.
Well, yeah, I kind of appreciated, for really until the first event is done, I was like, is this an alternate universe? Like, at first I almost thought Zdarsky was going to set this in our world, right? Like our universe. So, like, Cap's the only hero kind of thing, right? But that's certainly not the case. But I do hope we get a scene like this in the upcoming FF movie.
Yeah.
That was great. That was, if you couldn't tell, that was Reed Richards disguising himself in public by making himself look more and more like me if I had hair. So
just a sauced up drunk.
Yeah, that was very good. Very good. So let's kind of go through this. I did forget to mention art by Valerio Schiti, he's a fantastic artist as well.
Yeah.
Worked on a lot of X-Men stuff. Colors by Frank Martin, letters by Joe Caramagna. And then Ben Harvey does the interstitial pages where we get to meet another character.
Oh, that's...
so that was if you look at the credits, it says cover and then recap page art, and I think that's what those are.
Makes sense. Okay.
New John Walker?
It's going to be interesting because I feel like very clearly what they're playing with is if you took the template for Cap's origin but gave it a very different impetus, So yeah, it's a fascinating story. I'm really intrigued to see what's going to happen here.
Things I loved about this. I love the Reed Cap interaction.
I do
I
too.
love because now you read them now. Basically, ever since like I think it's like Avengers 300 or whatever. It's during the Inferno run when there were no Avengers team, and Sue and Reed join the Avengers. Cap is in that black suit. It's just like a cobbled together team where they run into New York to try to fight a bunch of demons. And so Reed and Sue are part of the Avengers for like 3 or 4 issues, and they do not. Cap and Reed don't get along at all. Like Reed is so used to just being lead of the team and just doing what he does, like like at the moment that he thinks it, and Cap is like giving orders and stuff. And so there's this always for me. There's always been this adversarial, not on purpose, not to the extent that where Cap and Tony are, but just that they don't get each other. Cap and Reed do not understand, like they don't speak the same language. Kind of, they respect each other. They don't speak the same language. So it was cool to see this moment between them where Reed was like, "You were my dad's favorite hero, and that you were my favorite hero because you're my dad's favorite hero." And he had the action figure, and he's like, "Yeah, they made one of Bucky too." And I was just like, "That I love
Yeah.
that stuff. Give me all that. That's what I want out of my Marvel and DC universes as well." So
Yeah.
And it's so Cap that his comment in basically discovering in the moment that he's like this living legend is his only question is, did they make one of Bucky too? Like he doesn't want Bucky to be forgotten, just it's just beautiful. It's great.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
also
yeah, I love
really
it.
liked it. Going back to just the respect that you were talking about. Like at the beginning, we see this some Captain America's chasing down somebody that is going towards the United Nations, I believe, and they're gonna, they look like they're up to no good. That we do find out that it's somebody that's got a bomb strapped to their chest, and I like that Captain America resolves this not with violence, but just by talking to this individual who's obviously there's something going on. He's having some kind of crisis personally, and it feels like this is the only way. And it's just a really, I love that he jumps on his bike, he just ditches the jacket. Like I wonder what his
Yeah.
jacket budget is going. But he realizes there's a bomb, so he's got to take a different approach. And he just kind of talks to him soldier to soldier, and I love that idea of like that's what Captain America can do that not a lot of other heroes can, right? He was a soldier. He knows about going into battle like a regular person would. And then of course, Tony shows up and like, I got technology too, Cap. Don't worry about it. So,
I love it. I love the old Iron Man armor. That
I do too. I'm pretty sure my smile widened when I saw that helmet.
yeah.
I think the other thing that's interesting is if you read the end of Zdarsky's Batman run, there's like this storyline. It's not a very. I feel like the end of his Batman run is really rushed, but he brings in this kind of it's the KGB agent or however you say his name, KGB beast or whatever.
Okay.
He's pretending to be like an American Captain America superhero for the last like few issues of Batman, and it's a very politically kind of charged, like it's us against them kind of stuff, and Batman has to stop him. And so it feels like this new character is kind of riffing off of that character that he created for Batman.
And something that Zdarsky explored as well on the Batman run was the idea of the Batman of Sur-Anar, right? A different identity of Batman, like what Batman would be without the humanity. And I feel like this David Colton character who, as we read this, and we're going full spoilers, I guess we should have talked about that, but I'll put something when I reissue this video. It feels like, what if somebody else went through the same Captain America, but he didn't have what Steve has that makes him special, and that is that humanity of being Steve. Now, we don't know this about David Colton. We haven't really seen him do a lot of what we get in those recap pages is a lot of very similar beats. He's somebody, but I think the difference is the way that he's I feel like he's very mistreated before he gets kind of the chance to become Captain America. Maybe Steve went through something similar. I just haven't read enough comics. but it feels very much the same, right? So
Steve's
I'm very excited
journey.
to see.
It feels like Steve's journey into World War II was kind of like they said in the movies. He's like, I just don't like bullies, and I want to stand up for guy. This guy looks like he's looking for revenge.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, this is straight up revenge.
Yeah. So
Yeah, 'cause
he's
they do-
pissed off. Yeah.
You meet this guy. He lost his brother during that 9/11, right? I think that's what the book's kind of
Mhm.
telling us. So, and now that Steve finally has a mission, there's a whole new team. Even the other guys on the team, they're kind of like assholes to Steve right away.
Yeah.
Even though he's Captain America. So, I like it. I like Thunderbolt Ross showing up and being the one that has this mission for him. Like, that's also a red flag in my book. You know.
And
Yeah, but it's also fun to see Steve go back to the army because we all as readers, we all have this kind of baggage that we're bringing. Like we know about Vietnam, we know about Korea, we know about like how
right.
Screwed up the army is now and how screwed up America is now. Steve, I mean, and it was screwed up back then too, like in reality in World War II. But Steve is kind of this like fictionalized, idealistic version of how America came together and fought off the Nazis during World War II. And so it's interesting to see him have that kind of innocence and like America's always going to, we haven't had this. This is not the Steve of the secret society yet, where Nixon has kind of like, flipped everything on his head, and Steve has, before he's gotten rid of the Captain America and become nomad and stuff. So this is still a very innocent, pure Steve,
Yep, I agree. Go ahead, Josh. I think you had a thought.
I did. I lost it. It's gone.
Just like the memories of the agent who was lost in Liberia.
Yes. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I hope that we get to see a little bit of how Doom came to power, because that's kind of what intrigued me also about the synopsis of this before reading the book. And then we also get some really nice new cool outfits for when you go on into a secret war, you have to get a new outfit, right? I feel like that's a big Marvel thing.
I am super hyped to see him go up against Doom. I know we've been getting a lot of Doom in the MCU lately, but like you said, Danny, this looks like kind of baby Doom, like early Doom, and but it just takes me back. I'm totally dating myself here. Jeff, maybe you did. Did you ever play the old Paragon computer game, Captain America and Spider-Man versus Dr. Doom?
I know of it. I did not play it, but yeah.
I had that when I was a kid, and I loved it. And it always felt really weird to me that it was like two characters you don't associate fighting Dr. Doom. So, yeah.
Nice. All right. Any final thoughts on Captain America? Because I feel like we could keep talking about this book for a little while. It's really good. I really recommend it.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the next issue.
I do like it blends like the Marvel universe with the kind of reality that Cap comes from, because of course if there are a real Dr. Doom who overtook a small whatever country and you don't know what his intentions are, and all of a sudden you got a superhero back out of the whatever, you're like, of course, just send this guy after. And the fact that Steve is like, I don't know if I'm going over after the next Hitler. I don't know anything about this.
Yeah,
I've been given my mission. And the fact that Reed is like, he's not Hitler. Like, I met the guy.
I do like also this feels like Steve Rogers navigating a new world. Like you said, Danny or Jeff, sorry. He goes back to the army because that's what he knows. But he's also a little mistrustful of the information he's getting, right? So he seeks out his own info, to make sure like he knows from a non-military third party what he's getting into,
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Nice. All right. Now, Josh, what else did you pick up?
I also picked up
and I guess I read. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good too.
I picked that up. I haven't read it, but I did pick it up.
Okay. Maybe there's something I am missing with this series, because I picked up all of them, I think, except one. and I've only read maybe half of them, and I just maybe I don't like fun. I don't know what it is. There's something about this that's just not clicking with me. I don't know if maybe I wanted a more coherent through line, and each issue stand alone. They seem completely unconnected. It's very clear they just handed this off to people who know the Versus character. So this is Jason Aaron writing Godzilla versus Thor, right? I like the epicness, to make up a word, of this issue, but there's just been a lot of this that just hasn't really clicked with me at all. Is it just me, or?
This was my favorite. So I've only read the Fantastic Four one. I flipped through. There's a Spider-Man one. There's an Avengers one, and I forget. I think there's another one. But I flipped through those and was just like, no, those feel like cash grabs to me.
Yeah,
and they all feel like cash grabs, honestly. Yeah. But this one, the Aaron Kuder artwork is great in it.
It is.
I love it. And then Jason Aaron. I think Jason Aaron's the one that has the most fun with it because he's pulling stuff that happened in the actual comics. You get references to gore and Malekith.
That is true, yeah.
Punisher, like the fact that they're like, it's the hand that's like, we fucked up trying to make the Punisher the beast of the hand. We're gonna go with Godzilla. Like, of course, I'm just like, oh, that's the kind of stuff that's so insane to me that I'm just like, I am here for it. And then it's basically 30 issues of Godzilla and Thor just fighting.
Yeah,
and there is no plot. There's nothing to it. It's just all spectacle. So this one was my favorite one, mostly for the Aaron Kuder artwork, though. Obviously,
it is beautiful.
They've been a little hit or miss. I enjoyed the Hulk one because who doesn't want to see the Hulk fight Godzilla?
Yeah.
But yeah, the Spider-Man one was just them running around New York, like because Spider-Man can't take on Godzilla. There's no way. I like the Avengers one. He
wraps his mouth shut.
It was Bendis' New Avengers and. Is it Tiger? What, Jet Tiger? Was that the name of the?
Yeah, Jaguar.
Jet Jaguar shows up. Yeah, Jet Jaguar shows up. So they found some inventive ways, but yeah, some of the other ones were just not fun. But I'm looking forward to reading this one now that Jeff kind of pitched like what it is, and I do love that team.
Yeah, and I do, now that you reminded me more of like what happens, Jeff, I would agree. I think it is my favorite of all of them so far. I didn't mind the FF one, but it wasn't anything special. So
yeah. I wish they had thought of a way to make the Thing big and then have him fight Godzilla, like like something like that. Even maybe where like, here's my pitch. They find a way to make the Thing big. And then the other Fantastic Four become Mr. Fantastic becomes a glove on one side, and then Invisible Woman becomes another glove on the other side, and then Johnny helps the Thing shoot fire out of his mouth to fight Godzilla.
Okay, why didn't they have you write this, Danny? That's brilliant. I love it.
I'm available, Marvel. It's the Power Rangers kid in me that's like, yeah, just make them all like a giant Megazord.
I mean, we might still be able to see it because there's still one more of these. Because the Godzilla kills the
Marvel universe. Yeah.
So,
I thought
that's a mini series. So
it's a mini series. So yeah, that should be fun.
And then the last thing I picked up and read. Well, also it's the same. Is the final issue of Batman '89 Echoes?
Oh, yeah.
Now here's the thing. And as I read this, I realized I either didn't pick up issue 5 because there's been such delays, or if I did, I didn't read it because I was very lost. It's almost like if this were the movie, I stepped out to take an extra long whiz, and I came back and missed many crucial plot points. But I do plan, like I did with last one, to pick up the hardcover, so I have a nice edition on my shelf. What I love about this, though, is like I just keep going back to thinking. Well, first off, if you guys read this as well,
I haven't read it. No, I'm gonna read it all. And now that it's all done, I'm gonna read it all together.
Okay, all right. I don't want to spoil too much for you, but when you read it, I just want you to imagine this is the ongoing Burton film verse that we got. All right, because Sam Hamm and
Joe?
Codenas are doing stuff in this that are just brilliant. And the thing is, I feel like if they had ended up on film at the time, it would have totally caused the old school fanboys to come out with like pitchforks. I mean, just as one example, one of the subplots in this is the different ways that Bruce as Batman and Tim as Robin are managing fighting crime in Gotham, right? So they are partners, but the thing is, Tim has a lot of independence. He kind of does stuff on his own, right? And he is in communication with Bruce and Alfred. And one of the moments in this I love, again, full spoiler, sorry, is Tim. God, I'm trying to find it. Hang on. Tim, they're just navigating like all this stuff going down. And Tim jumps down at a certain point to stop somebody. And behind him are a bunch of young people wearing kind of like street style, like homemade Robin costumes. And as they jump down behind him, he said, he points out, it's like someone like, I'm not alone, right? And he calls all these, again, like what would be basically his Baker Street irregulars, he calls them the Nightwings. So we get this introduction of the Nightwing concept, but it's not the next evolution of Robin. It's this army of further people that he's like training and bringing in. It's brilliant. And there's this great moment where after some stuff calms down, they're splitting up again to go do stuff. Bruce turns to Tim and says, by the way, you're right. Your method is better. Like, it's better to not do this alone, to like divide it up and invest more of the community in helping keep Gotham safe, right? It's so good.
I like that Tim is not only a vigilante, but also a community organizer.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's like central to his character in this, going back to like the last series. It's really good. I also love they keep revising his costume, so the way that it looked in the last series has now been updated. And the thing the thing I love is it's kind of a combination of Batman Beyond.
Oh yeah.
You can see it there.
Oh yeah.
It's really good. It's good. I love this so much. I hope they keep doing them. They're a perfect team. It feels like the honest continuation of Burton's Batverse that we never got. So
I love thinking that Sam Hamm just had all this stuff planned out that just never worked out because the movies are tough. That's the movie biz.
Yeah. Well, and I do find it kind of weird that we got these series so far, but then we got the official novel sequel that came out last fall that's not written by Sam Hamm and not based on any of this. It's just weird that like Warner Brothers keeps going back to this well, but not realizing they've already got a kind of canonical continuation, So anyway, really good. I'm excited to sit down and kind of read the whole thing cover to cover. I think the hardback comes out in October, so we got some time. But
nice. Yeah. I was waiting for that to finish. So I like these. I like the Superman 78 continuations too. Those were fun. So
I need to read those. I haven't read those yet. So
I mean, you're primed in the mood because I think the first one takes place between movies 1 and 2. So if you're gonna watch 2, we just watched movie 1. You can check out our full conversation on that on the channel.
Very cool.
All right, cool. Jeff, what else you got? And then if you have anything that you bought and haven't read, Josh, we can look at it right before we get out of here.
Yeah, sure.
But Josh, what did you read? And I'll hop along if I read some of that.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna continue with the Godzilla train, and I finished the Godzilla Heist. Godzilla Heist. This is the final issue, number 5. You know what? I love the concept of the comic. The execution, not so great. It gives us a good try, the good college try. But it falls into predictable places. And then it does the thing that I hate the most, where it's like, we're doing a trope, but if we point out the trope, then it's less tropey. And I'm like, I think it makes it more tropey when you do that. It's not clever anymore. It used to be back in like 20 years ago, but other than that, it's fine. It's fine. I love the concept. It gets a little ridiculous,
I love all the. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Ocean's 11 franchise.
yeah.
So like, I love the reveals and the twists and like the little heist aspects of it. Uh, I forget the artist's name, but I think it really works for this. Like, it's a little bit gritty and grainy, and it gives texture to the world. But I just love every issue has kind of a reveal at the end that's like, ta-da, and it's like, oh, this is the most ridiculous. I did go into this thinking like this is the most ridiculous thing that's ever gonna happen. So I was not expecting like a very serious book, and I think that was the right mindset for me because I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very fun. So
Yeah. It's very reminiscent of like one of those early summer movies. It's not the full on summer blockbuster, but it's like one of those early kind of like, oh, this is fun, kind of thing. And then to conclude the Godzilla Big Bash, we got Godzilla Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong 2, issue number 2. We get in the last one we got a kaiju sized king shark. This one we get a kaiju sized killer croc. This is like the Thor versus Godzilla. I mean, the first one of these, the Justice League Godzilla vs. Kong. This is everybody dumping the toys out of the toy box and just throwing it all together in one big basket.
Yeah.
Just like, what can we do? How fun can we?
I do feel like DC took a little bit better advantage of having Godzilla. Now, this is the legendary Godzilla, not the Toho, whereas I believe Marvel's using the Toho version, and then IDW has its own version of Godzilla that they're working with. It's very confusing.
I need diagrams, Danny. I need a family tree.
Yeah. I think the fact that 3 different publishers have Godzilla books out on the same week.
Yeah,
it's like a dream for Godzilla fans, right? Like, if you don't like one, just go read one of the other 2. And then there's a whole new reboot at IDW that's coming.
Which one has the 90s Godzilla? The American.
Zilla.
Zilla, yeah. That one's not in the comics yet. Maybe soon.
That'll be the Valiant crossover.
That's right. Which Valiant's now coming out of IDW, so like, yeah, it's all. It
is weird.
Happen. All right. What else, Jeff?
Avengers number, what is this, 28? This wraps up the One World
Masters of Evil
crossover, Masters of Evil. It was pretty good. I liked it. This Jed McKay run for the Avengers has been very up and down for me. I feel bad for him because, and I think I mentioned this on the show before, like when he started, Kang was the big bad in the MCU, and then that went away. So he had to kind of pivot out away from Kang. And it's just
right into
kind
vampires,
of like,
though. I love that he
right into
pivoted
vampires.
right into vampires.
Yeah, he pivoted right into vampires. Most of his run's been okay, but when he has to do these tie-ins, like weirdly, I feel like that's when he shines because he is enclosed even more into what stories he can tell. So this has been another fun event, but mini part of the thing where Sam has just been trapped. Sam Wilson, Captain America, has been trapped on the Avengers base with the Masters of Evil, who've been trying to take over the Avengers base because all the Avengers are trying to take care of Dr. Doom. Great story concept. And then Black Panther, who's been trapped in an alternate dimension inside the Avengers base, comes out. So then it's Sam and T'Challa versus the Masters of Evil. So yeah, this wraps it up.
I know they say that don't do a hat on top of a hat, but that was literally what this was, and it sounds awesome. And I can't wait to catch up. I was waiting. I read the first one when it came out, and I was like, oh, I think I'm just gonna read all the tie-ins all together because it feels like it's gonna be one thing, and it sounds like it is. So I'm excited to finish that.
Yeah. It does feel like Jed got to the end of it, and he's like, I've got 3 more pages I need to fill. So there's like 3 filler pages at the end where after they wrap up with the Masters of Evil, when the Avengers are all together and they're like just talking, just like, what's going on? Like, I don't know. It's
I feel like that was also kind of because I've loved the Moon Knight run that Jed McKay's done. Like that's probably my favorite one ever. But I really like. I really think that sometimes when Jed McKay has too much freedom, like on the X-Men book, things get a little wacky, and I kind of lose the thread because
yeah,
I like his X-Men when it started, but then it got out of hand very fast. So
yeah. I
um,
dumped out of it. Um,
um,
if it weren't for Captain America, this would probably be my favorite book of the week, and it might still
oh,
be. This is Birds of Prey
always a
number
good one.
23. I love it. There's the Birds of Prey. It feels like it's wrapping up. Everything in this story feels like we're coming to a conclusion. I looked it up on the internet. There's no word whatsoever about it ending. The
Huh.
trades go up to issue 26. Like when the future trades that have been marketed say they go up to issue 26. So I don't know. Maybe this is just a big storyline. But the birds have been under attack. Their base has been blown up. Uh, and now at the very end of this book, everybody who's been a part of the book shows back up to kind of like kick the ass of the bad guys.
Hell yeah.
But there's this moment because when the base blows up, they think Barbara's been blown up, and then they go into their protocols. They meet up at a backup location an hour later, and everybody's fine. But when they find out everybody's fine, there's a big group hug, and it could be cheesy, but I've been with these characters for so long. I'm just like, yes, I love it. It is emotional. It hits home. It is you care about these characters, and you care that these characters care about one another as well. I love this book so much. This book, Fantastic Four, it's my two top books.
I need to catch
Uh,
up. I need to catch up because Kelly Thompson is doing incredible work.
yeah. She deserves all the accolades. The newest Green Lantern, Absolute Green Lantern number 4, continues to hit awesome. Adam Sur, still weird, creepy looking. We still don't know
Very
exactly what
Majin Buu.
happened, but they
Yeah,
do explain a little bit more in this issue. So this will read great as a trade, I think.
Mm.
Once it's all
it's Al
collected,
Ewing, so like I have faith
Yeah.
that he'll bring us home.
yeah. This I bought because it had a cool cover and I was kind of interested about it. This is the Hellfire Vigil.
Huh.
It's okay. It's okay.
Tell us how you
tell you
really
about
feel,
this.
Jeff.
Well, let me tell you about this
a-
book and why it's only okay. If you haven't been reading the X-Men books, this is like previously on X-Men, but everything, like all the series. Because if you look at the credits page, it's every writer that's working on an X-Men book at the time, like the
Wow.
whole team, right? So this is
Yeah,
the
it's all the
credits
creative
page.
teams.
Oh my
So what
god.
this is like, well, let's do a vigil for Krakoa and then just have that as an excuse to bring in everyone together and then have a few pages of each creative team work on something. So there's some really cool pages. There's some really interesting reveals. I haven't been keeping up with Storm, but apparently she's pregnant somehow. I guess I know how that happens, but I don't know exactly how it happened. I haven't been really booked.
Look,
When a mommy mutant and a daddy mutant love each other.
yeah.
Well, that's the thing. They don't even have to be mommy and daddy mutants. They just have to be like, they could just be regular people. And apparently, because in the X-Men book, you're getting full-grown adults, like their mutant genes triggering in their full adulthood. So yeah, it's
They
very
do it.
interesting. I enjoyed it because it was a nice way to catch up. And I've actually read probably half of the line. I'm still reading. So yeah, it's nice to check in with the gang.
The artwork is cool because you get to it is basically every single creative team under the various X-Men books. Although I did not see X Factor in here at all. Now that I think about it, because there's no Mark Russell, there's no Bob.
Oh,
Bob
you're right.
Quinn.
Well, then they're being government shills. They weren't invited.
I guess so. So if you're reading the books that you're reading, like you'll have something to latch on to. The books that you're not reading, you have no. Jean Grey's in here. I have no idea what's going on in the Jean Grey comics.
It may give you a thing. I'm behind on Jean Grey, and it did prompt me to be like, oh, I should catch up on that. It looks, I don't know what the hell is happening, but it looks interesting and super cool. And there's like this ghost force, and she's like the Phoenix, of course. and she finally gets to see Scott after everything that they've been through, because they've been separated since Krakoa. So like, it's nice, and Scott just moping around in their base in Alaska.
Not Scott.
Yeah, I wanted
he's
to
a mopey. He's a mopey fella.
He is.
Scott needs to be shaken very, because that was the one thing where I'm like, I feel like Scott would go to, like, right off the bat would go.
Well,
He's like,
Psylocke really like gave him the business for not wanting to go. So.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Let's see. What else do I got here? Where'd all my comic books go? That can't be it.
So if you want to talk about the ones you read, and then we'll hit up everything else after, because I actually did not read as many this week as I bought.
I think that was it. That must have been it. Because that was it.
Well, then I'll talk about 3 more. If you have a coworker at your job that you're very fond of, and you guys kind of rip it up at the office, imagine if it was Bring Your Daughter to Work Day. Well, that's what this book is. Wolverines and Deadpool, #1. Wolverine and Laura are on a mission, and they are kind of stumped, and they need some help, so they call in the Deadpools. So I'm not reading Deadpool, so it was kind of interesting to see, because I haven't read any of Ellie being Deadpool as well. But it's really fun. It's a cool X-Men villain that's a classic villain that I should have figured out earlier just from like the lettering. But it's always fun to see X-Men. It's fun to see Wolverine hanging out with Deadpool, and now it's fun to see Laura Wolverine hanging out with Ellie Deadpool. So yeah, I liked it. It's a lot of fun. It's pretty cool. I really enjoyed it, and the art is also pretty fantastic. So
who is Ellie Deadpool?
she's Deadpool's daughter. She was revealed a few years ago. Deadpool had a daughter. He left her with a family so she would be safe. But now that she's older, I didn't know exactly how she got her powers, or maybe her mutant gene finally triggered. But yeah, now she works. Deadpool has an agency. Taskmaster is like the business manager of the agency. I don't know about that either. I need to catch up. This is Cody Sigler's run on Deadpool, so I'm not current. So also, Deadpool wasn't invited to the Krakoa and Vigil, and I feel like that's a shame. Because he was there for a little bit. He was a teacher for a little while in Krakoa too. I think like they eventually brought him into X-Force, if I remember correctly. So
I am a little worried, to kind of sidetrack a little bit, about where the X-Men are going, because I know they're wrapping up. Jackson Kelly and Colin Lansing are going to take over as the helm of whatever the X-Men are going to do, and I've been reading their Kamala miniseries, and then there's this one. I haven't been reading NYX, but the one where Kamala's hopping through time with all the giant sized ones.
Yeah.
So I've been reading that, and I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not getting a vibe as to like, what are we building toward here? Like, I felt like this was like their kind of setup to like, and then we go into our X-Men run, which we've been kind of hinting at here, but I don't know what it is. And they're kind of up and down for me, like Lansing and Kelly.
I agree. Like, I like some of their Guardians. I was not a big fan of, but I really like the stuff they did with Captain America, and Bucky becoming the Revolution or whatever, that whole thing. So yeah, I think for me, and then they did Thunderbolts, which I really enjoyed as well. So I like the work for the most part. I think it's like a maybe 70-30 split, where I'm like, sometimes it doesn't connect, but.
Yeah.
But they did some cool stuff at Valiant, so I think they can handle groups of heroes working together. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, when they switch, I think who do they switch? They switch Jordan White out of being the editor of the X-Men line. I feel like that might have been a mistake. I like Tom Brevoort. I think he's a great editor. I don't know if he is the best one for the X-Men line, because I feel like he brought a lot of things back that we had moved past.
But I would rather some newer blood. Tom Brevoort's been around for a while.
Which, like I said, his experience is great, but also, like, I don't know, like he may be pivoting in the direction that's not where comics were going. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Exactly. That's kind of what I think.
We are not X-Men experts or comic experts, although we know a lot. We definitely read enough. So, all right. Next up, we have the next issue of Bring On the Bad Guys. This is the Green Goblin one.
Oh yeah.
Really cool. So this series, there's gonna be 7 one-shots in this series, and what it's gonna entail is all of these guys made a deal with Mephisto at some point, and we're just exploring that. And then also there's a larger overarching story that Mark Guggenheim is kind of working in the backups of these issues. Now, this one's written by Ethan Parker and Griffin Sheridan, who are the co-writers of Kill Your Darlings, if you remember that book from Image.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so if you enjoy that,
Awesome.
those guys are pretty good, and we've had them on the on the stream a couple of times talking about their books, and I'm trying to get them again because they're coming out with a bunch of stuff. Not only this, but something at Boom. They're doing a Godzilla Escape the Dead Zone book from the upcoming line. So yeah, very exciting stuff. I like this. If you want to see Norman Osborn do like Green Goblin shit, I think this is the perfect book for that. So it really works. And they got to sneak in Spider-Man, even though Spider-Man is not like the main character of this book. But who wouldn't want to write Mephisto? Like that just
Right.
sounds like fun. And then the last thing I actually read, the Gotham City Sirens are back, and they're back with their shiny covers.
Wow.
Yeah, they have to reunite because a new nightclub opened up in their city, and we find out that it's Despero that is running it because people are disappearing. So they gotta act. That's a very interesting matchup, I'm gonna call it, because
Yeah.
Despero is feels like he's a really powerful.
He's
Feels like a
very
Superman
powerful.
level villain. So
Yeah, Despero's like super powerful.
so I thought of Ivy and stuff. I don't know. Let me see. Oh, Josh did put that he would be right back. All right. Let me show you some other books that I bought, and then we'll figure out what we're doing next. We might be very close to wrapping up here. I picked up the latest issue of Grimm. This is a Dan Panosian cover.
That's a cool
He's
cover.
so good. Dan Panosian, such a cool cover artist.
What issue are they up to now? I
Behind,
dropped out of Grimm a while back, but I was enjoying it.
it's a 23.
23.
I think it definitely does read better in the trades, but I mean, I've just been picking up the singles and kind of doing, after the arc wraps up, I'll just read that.
Okay.
So Ultimate Wolverine, I'm still really involved in this one. I'm just kind of not caught up with this issue, but I mean, Magic is on this one. I love that. I love that idea. So, like you talked about, I got to catch up on this Avengers. I got to catch up on Green Lantern. It always happens that I lose access to DC Comics, the previews, around the holidays. So, like, I'm trying to get access back. So that puts me behind on reading. I'm still picking up X-Men because I do still love Ryan Stegman, and I'll eventually get through all this. But Ryan Stegman's been in and out of the issues, and Nestor Diaz has been covering some of that. And I think that's it as far as new comics. Yesterday, I did go to Common Ground Games to play some games, and it's right next to Zeus Comics here in Dallas. So I picked up some. They always have some cool stuff. So I picked up this Emma Frost White Queen super shiny.
Nice.
Like I asked for the shiniest variant they had, and they gave me this. And then they have a few buckets of I guess this Tula Lotte cover of the Umbrella Academy, the new series.
Oh, that's cool.
They're away, Gabriel Ba. But I mainly picked it up for the cover. I'm gonna wait till the trade's out for that. But they have a few crates of dollar comics and discounted comics. So I picked up this one. It's the Plot Holes, the Sean Murphy book.
Oh, I like
but it
that
was
book.
$2. Yeah. So I never got a chance to read it. I think he kickstarted this or crowdfunded it somehow.
Okay.
But I picked it up because it was $2. I was like, I'll check out it #1, and the cover looks really cool.
The artwork in it
I
is
also
great. It's a really good story.
Yeah. I picked up this called The Neighbors. I think it's a one shot. I don't know. It was on their dollar comic bin. So I'm excited to see that.
Cool cover.
And then I picked up just this other variant of Grimm, also in their dollar bin. So they have a few crates. At Zeus, they have a few crates at the front where just $1 comics, and then in the back they have a discounted section. So yeah, I since I was in the area, I made a trip in that. So, all right, Jeff, did you pick up anything else before we wrap up?
No, nothing really. Just the currents.
Okay. Josh, did you pick up any other comics this week?
No, the 3 I showed you is all I picked up.
What do either one of you guys have any comics that you're looking forward to next week? Have you
It's
already
a-
pull? Tell me.
It's a
Tell me.
yeah, it's a big week next week.
Oh yeah.
We got Archie meets Jay and Silent Bob, which I'm written by Kevin
Yes.
Smith.
Thank you, Archie. I guess I should have told you guys to read that so we could talk about it today, but we'll have a review on the channel.
Yeah.
Because Archie sent us a review copy, so thank you very much. We'll definitely get on that. What else, Josh?
Well, for Jeff and I, more Batman Dark Patterns.
Yeah.
Tons of
Catch up.
yeah, me too. Actually, tons of Robert E. Howard stuff. So new issue of Conan, new issue of Savage Sword of Conan, new issue of Solomon Kane. But I'm I'm most excited for the new issue 1 of Fantastic Four comes out. And I'm going to check out this movie tie-in comic, Fantastic Four Steps. I'm a little skeptical. I don't want it spoiling anything for me, but I'm also intrigued. So,
I'll pick it up if only for that really cool Phil Noto cover. That's an homage.
That's
100%.
That's what I'm getting. I'm getting the Phil Noto cover. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
The new Beneath the Tree starts next week.
I saw that.
Yeah, which
I
read the first issue.
Series. Oh yeah,
it's fantastic. You do. Yeah, we. I don't know if we have the.
I was about to.
I don't know if we have those on the box, but I think you can get this from Hoopla or your library as well. If
Oh, okay.
You know what? I bought the IDW bundle that was out a few.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That was in there, wasn't it?
Let me check if it's in there. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Bundle.
Yeah, weirdly I didn't pick that one up. So,
yeah. All right. What else, Jeff? Anything else that stands out for next week?
They are bringing back the lauded Marvel Swimsuit issue.
I saw that.
I'll probably pick that up.
Let me see. Hold on. Since you brought that up, let me share what the people want. Let's give the people a little bit of cheesecake before they go have lunch.
Cheesecake.
So this is, of course, they have a lot of covers. This is Adam Hughes cover, I'm pretty sure. Or is it Adam Hughes? Yeah. It also looks like it could be what's his name? Pablo. Oh, I forget his name, but he does a lot of very similar stuff. This is what I was talking about, Pablo Villalobos, which I think they have very similar.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, so okay, great. Then we have Daughterman. Speaking of, did you talk about Daughterman earlier? Was he the one on that issue of Godzilla? No, Cooter was the artist.
That was Aaron Cooter.
Yeah. Here we have Ivan Tao's cover. Shannon Mayer cover. There's so many. Jason Scott Campbell, of course. Of course, you have to get him to do a few of these. That's 4. That's 4. Jason Scott Campbell. Greg Horn has a cover as well. Some of these might be just retail exclusives. Yeah. Lucas Wernick, who did a lot of the X-Men Red. Mark Brooks. I think this is a connecting cover.
So I had my question. What is it connecting to? Who is it? What would it be connecting to?
I'm thinking there might be here as well. Let's see, Torn Clark. I like that they had to put Spider-Man trunks on him just so that we know that that's Spider-Man.
He still got his web shooters.
He's wearing his web shooters. Although, why is he hanging out with Psylocke? I guess that's a pairing that I'm not very used to. When
you're having a beach day.
Terry Dodson. And I think that's it. That's 19. So yeah, I don't know. You know what? It might be Jeff. It might be like a full.
Maybe if it's a wraparound. Yeah,
maybe a full wraparound. We just don't see it here. So.
little rough.
There you go, kids. Go spend your money, your hard-earned money from mowing lawns in this summer on these swimsuit specials. So, all right. And then for me, we have a book that we got a preview of. I haven't read all of it, but Meat Eaters. It's a trade paperback by Meredith McLaren. Comes out this week from Oni Press. It looks pretty interesting and it's pretty rad. And then we also have Predator, Black, White, and Blood. So I love an anthology of Predators. And then from Image, some book called The Unchosen, which I haven't read, but it looks cool. And I think I was intrigued by the. It's written by David Marcus, who's usually an artist. He's done a lot of work with Marvel, but he's doing the writing and the art. So that should be fun. Image is taking chances on these creator-owned books, so very exciting stuff. And then like Josh mentioned, Jay and Silent Bob and Archie crossover.
I'm very
Should
intrigued.
be a lot of fun stuff.
Is anybody reading the Gotham by Gaslight stuff? Because there's a Gotham by Gaslight Justice League.
There's a new one.
Yeah.
Right?
So I started picking up the Krypton Age, and it didn't really click with me. But I love the look of this like Gaslight Victorian era Justice League. So who knows? I'm gonna flip through it and see.
Yeah.
DC's not gonna gaslight me this time. I'm just gonna wait because I know when they're done, they're gonna put out a really nice collection of all these Gotham. They'll reprint the original one,
Yeah.
and then they'll put together the other, however many of these series. Which I feel like this one's gonna be the last one. Like the Kryptonian Age and now the Justice League one. I feel like that's a nice trilogy of that.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know
true.
how much story you can squeeze out of the world. Feels pretty limiting. So
We're getting 2 series more than I thought. So let's put it that way.
but they're not gonna get me. Not gonna get me again. I'm done.
Not today, friends. Not today.
Not today.
New Gods by Gaslight.
What else?
Oh God, I would totally read that. Oh, speaking of, I did start reading this.
I love that book.
It's very cool.
It's good. It's fun. I eat shit like this up. I love when I was a kid, like Marvel Saga. Oh, I love that stuff. It was great.
Yeah.
But for DC specifically, because the nerdiest people are like, well, what is happening? Because between pre-crisis, post-crisis, the time between Crisis and New 52, where there was like 2 more reboots in the middle of that, and then post-rebirth, whatever. Like, I do need some, like, I have so many
guidance.
different versions of the thing. So when Black Canary Best of the Best came out, and we found out that Diana was once again daughter to the first Black Canary, like that post-crisis that they came up with, how they kind of blended the two together.
Yeah.
But it was also a Black Label book, so I was like, is this real? But I don't know. And so this actually lays it down. And is like, yes, there was a Justice Society that took place during the DC Universe's World War II, and it helped inspire the new kind of thing.
Well, so does that mean this makes New 52 canon? Because Agents of Shade show up in this.
I think they're cobbling together a bunch of stuff.
That's what I wondered. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So
because there was
what you need to do is when this book is all out, because it's a 4-issue series, I think.
Okay.
You just carry those around with you all the time, and you can anytime you get into this like contest of knowledge of comics, you're like, well, actually, and then you pull out the book and you're like,
you have to buy every single issue that they reference in the back matter stuff.
Yeah, which boy, that's gonna cost a pretty penny.
Yeah, kudos to the team putting that together, because my goodness.
I did, yeah, right. Dude, that's my dream job right there. I did love. I don't know why. I just like this one panel.
Also,
very
like,
out of context.
Yeah.
When they show like Mobius getting his Mobius chair, but it's like at the time it was like, I don't know, like stuff was happening on Earth. Like it was still like it's prehistoric Earth, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's like maybe Renaissance-y time. And I was like, I feel like Mobius should have the Mobius. Like the New God should have been around like during the time of the dinosaurs. Like now we're just like they should be old AF.
Well, maybe he didn't get the chair till later.
I mean,
yeah, he got the
it's still
chair.
pretty
Like, I don't
early.
have mine.
It's still
could
pretty
be.
early on, I feel, because
yeah, well,
humans don't even show up till like later.
it's like, so they're all down here. There's Apocalypse. There's Big Barda.
But he gets his chair later. I have to grab my issue.
Yeah, okay, I got you. Yeah, because that does happen later.
We might need to do. Here's what we do. Once this whole series is out and we've all read it, we're gonna pick our most unhinged moments of it and just talk about them, like our biggest revelations. That way we'll get the clickbait, right? DC secrets uncovered. Whatever. Uncovered. All right.
Totally naked.
Yeah. I think we're gonna wrap up here because this was just supposed to be short for comics. There was not a lot. I mean, there's actually too many movies out right now that I have seen, so we won't have enough time to cover all that.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I recommend if you like F1, go check out F1. If you enjoyed Top Gun Maverick, I think you're gonna enjoy F1. If you enjoyed the Jurassic World stuff that's been out, you're probably gonna enjoy the new one. So there you go. Those are my recommendations.
There's one thing about I did see the new Jurassic movie, and I am ready. There's two camps that I've seen formulate on this new Jurassic movie. There's the one where I'm okay with it, like I didn't love it, but I might be joyless a little bit because I think there are people out there who are like, just enjoy the film. It's a great film. It's a fun super blockbuster ride, kind of thing. And I can see that there. I see it. Like I'm like, okay, I get it, but I'm just like, it's not the best. Nothing's gonna top that first Jurassic Park movie. It's Jurassic Park 1, like a mile between anything else in the next movie.
Yeah.
There is a line in this movie where one of the characters, after they're already stranded on the island, whatever, one of the characters says, "I got some weed. Anybody want to smoke some weed?" And from that point forward, for the rest of the movie, I was like, they're gonna smoke a dinosaur out. They're gonna smoke a dinosaur out. We're gonna see a high dinosaur. It never happens in the movie.
Aww.
I'm so upset. It is not Chekhov's gun. It is not Chekhov's weed. It is
Chekhov's weed.
It is just a line that gets thrown away. So now I'm like, you know what you need? You need the new Jurassic Park movie, because now Jurassic Park movies are just like Final Destination movies. Like, what can we do to get the dinosaur to kill these people? You need a stoner Jurassic Park movie.
Where's Kevin Smith or Seth Rogen or both?
Yeah. So
give me Seth Rogen, Jack Black, stoned on Jurassic Park, and they got to get out of there. And then they smoke out like a velociraptor, and then you get the Alan talking scene from Jurassic Park 3. Like you get to recreate where the raptor's like Alan, like, but it's real life because everything's high.
So you're saying you want a How High Jurassic Park crossover?
I want a How High Jurassic Park crossover.
So does that mean somewhere within Jurassic Park there is a hot box? Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
It's in the equator. Everything's a hot box down there.
I mean, that's a great place to grow some weed. Like,
that is true. That is true. It's very.
Can you imagine prehistoric weed? Like how the potency of it?
Yeah.
That's your thing.
Your body.
That's their hook. Like instead of these big like medicinal companies going in to try to get the DNA from to make drugs or whatever it is that they're doing, like for the last 4 movies, like they're like, yeah, but we're gonna make weed. We're gonna make genetic freak weed out of the Jurassic Park stuff, and they try to grow weed on Jurassic Park. That's my movie.
You will believe a dinosaur can get high.
Welcome back to the stoned age. That's your
tagline. Look at this. Okay, seriously, Hollywood needs to hire both of you. All right.
Yeah. So if
I'll be your
if
PA.
you're not going to the theaters, just watch Sinners on Max because it's
available on Max. Great.
I cannot tell you. So Hazel saw that in the theater with her friend. And the moment she learned what day it was coming to Max, she's like, we have to watch Sinners. We have to watch Sinners. And then she was bummed they were going out of town this weekend. So I'm 98% certain when they roll back into town tonight, she'll be like, all right, we got to watch Sinners tonight. So I may have an update next time. Who knows?
Good. So we may have a Sinners episode in the future then.
Yeah, there you go. I did
I
also.
say they're both.
I did buy my tickets to Superman and FF.
Yes.
When are you going to Superman?
So Superman, I'm doing
August.
both after the premiere week. So Superman, we're doing I think the Sunday of, maybe the Monday of, because Hazel. Actually, it's the Sunday, so we're seeing it Sunday. FF we're seeing a little later because we'll be on vacation the weekend it comes out, which I'm deeply bummed about. But we will see it as soon as we get back. So,
Well, I'm glad you let us know you'll be on vacation, because then I'll know that we'll try to figure out when we're doing that.
Yeah, exactly. You're welcome. I usually let you guys know at least a week before.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you guys don't see behind the curtain how to put together a show. It's a scramble. Although I think the Superman show came together pretty well. So.
Oh yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna pick that weekend to do Man of Steel, and you'll have no power over it.
But don't you want me revisiting Man of Steel? And he's like, no.
We did have a clip from yesterday. I put up where we were talking about the Save the Cat scene.
I love that.
It's doing pretty well on YouTube. So
I love it.
Okay, let's get out of here. Let's go and enjoy the rest of our Sunday. I'm gonna go read some comics because I haven't read a lot of comics, and then check out all the news coming out of Anime Expo. So thank you guys for joining me. This was really fun. I'm glad we were able to talk about comics. So we'll see you guys later.
Sounds good. You guys take care.
Hold on. Bye-bye. Hold on. Damn it.
Really are the most devious bastard.